What is going on, guys? I'm Consumer Tech Review, and today I'm going to be doing a review of this awesome 32-inch ASUS TUF gaming monitor, more specifically the VG32VQ1B. I'm going to go over the pros and the cons, and then I'm going to give you some of my own real-life experience that I've had with this monitor. And if at any point in the video you guys want to check out this monitor for yourselves, I'll have Amazon links below for the US, UK, and Canada. But jumping right into the first pro, that has to be the huge 32-inch screen. If you guys are used to using 27-inch screens or 24-inch screens, this 32-inch screen is gonna seem huge to you. Now, I've been used to using a 34-inch ultra-wide monitor, and this is a normal 16:9, and this thing is still massive. It's almost as wide as my 34-inch ultra-wide is. So it is absolutely huge, and it's still big enough for me, even though I came from an ultra-wide, which normally, you know, it's a kind of a no-no. You don't go from 21:9 back to 16:9, but this change was very easy. Moving on to the next pro. So this is actually 1440p resolution, so you're getting 2K, which at this size, some people will tell you you need to get 4K, but they're wrong. You definitely don't need to get 4K. The 1440p looks very nice. It obviously depends on how close you're gonna be to your screen. Will you notice a difference if it's 4K? Yes. In game, is it gonna be a massive difference? Absolutely not. If you guys are running an Xbox Series X, some people like using monitors for that. If you're using a PC, I don't feel like I need more resolution, although you probably could see a difference from 4K to 1440p. The next pro is this covers 120% of the sRGB color gamut, which is great if you're into photo editing or video editing, which I am, so absolutely no issues there. Now, this is a curved VA panel with a 1500R curve, and it is 165 Hertz, which is very, very good. And as well as that, it hits a 1 millisecond response time. So you're getting a lot of big numbers in this. You're getting 1 millisecond response time, 165 Hertz, great color accuracy, and a huge screen. All of that under $400. I know, it's insane. Now, yes, it is a VA panel, but you do get all of that stuff. You get 165 Hertz, you get 1 millisecond response time, you're getting a huge screen, and it's under $400. It's crazy they packed all that into there. Is there color shift? Yes, there is. Is it as bad as a TN panel? Absolutely not. I typically use IPS screens, so coming from that to this, it was a change, but it wasn't a huge change. And if you guys have never experienced a really, really good monitor, this is gonna seem like a really, really good monitor, and it is, especially for the price. Now, the next pro is this thing has built-in speakers, which are legitimately not bad. Most of the time, if your monitor has speakers in it, they're probably trash. LG just doesn't even put speakers in their monitors, most of them. These are actually pretty decent. The bass is not bad. Obviously, don't expect it to blow you away, but if you're using a laptop, it'll probably be better than your laptop. Now, this thing's got FreeSync Premium, which obviously, if you have a GTX or an RTX graphics card like I do, obviously that will work with the FreeSync. Now, moving on to the ELMB, the low motion blur. So there's two levels to it. There is a standard and then a turbo one. Now, if you put it on turbo, it dims the screen like half brightness, and obviously you cannot have FreeSync on while that is on. So it kind of eliminates having that at all because you just don't want to be using it with that dim of a screen. Although in standard mode, it's pretty good and it doesn't dim the screen, or I think it dims the screen just a little bit, but not that big of a deal. But if you are buying this just for that feature, I definitely would not. It is there and it's super awesome to have it, but it dims the screen so much, not really worth it in the turboed mode. But again, it's still a pro because it still is in this monitor and it's under $400. This thing also has HDR10, but let's move into the next pro, and this is kind of a strange one, but it's super light for how big it is. Now, this thing is 32 inches. It's a big monitor. It's borderline TV level large. It's right on the edge before you get to like the crazy, crazy huge stuff. This thing is really, really, really light for how big it is. I took it out of the box and I was like, wow, this is light. Now, that is actually a very, very big pro because you can get some monitor arms like I have there, how it's kind of just floating there. It's connected right over there to a monitor arm. Now, the heavier the monitor, the more expensive the monitor arm you need. So having this thing only at below 16 pounds is a big deal. You can get a really nice monitor arm for very, very little money. And that actually moves me into the next pro. There is a bunch of different versions on the Amazon link below. It's just how Amazon has it. There's like the 27-inch version. There's a bunch of differences between them, but you can either get this monitor with the standard stand or a height adjustable stand, a more premium stand. Now, honestly, I got it with the standard stand and it's pretty nice. I used it and it's not bad. It's very stable. You can rotate it and it tilts. It just won't go up and down. Now, to get that premium stand, it is $40 more. Now, for $40, you can get this monitor arm right here, which I did a huge review on. They're awesome. They're super easy to set up. You can move them up and down and forward and back wherever you want. That's 40 bucks. And it supports like up to almost 30 pounds. So I highly recommend don't buy the height adjustable stand. It's $40 more, you're wasting your money. Get a monitor arm. I'll have my video that I did on the monitor arm at the end of this video if you guys want to check that out. But I highly recommend you guys save the money, get the standard one, and just get a monitor arm. It's just gonna look so much better on your desk. Moving into the next Pro, it both comes with an HDMI and a DisplayPort cable, which is really nice because sometimes they'll just cheap out and give you one cable or the other cable, but they give you both of them. So if you have an Xbox and a PC, you'll be able to plug both of them in without having to have anything extra. As well as that, there is no charging brick for this monitor. Some monitors you have to have a like kind of not like charging, but power brick. This one you don't, it's just directly plugs into the wall, one cable. It is a little bit nicer for cable management. Now moving to the ports, this thing includes two HDMI 2.0 ports, a DisplayPort, and then a 3.5mm headphone jack. Now this is really good for basically anyone. You have the DisplayPort for your PC, but if you are on Xbox, this is really good. They have two 2.0 ports. Now you might think I need 2.1, but obviously not on this one because you can get that 120 Hertz at 1440p with HDMI 2.0, and at this screen size, you don't really want 4K. You're not gonna be able to benefit from it, especially if you're using an Xbox, because you're probably gonna be a little bit further back. So this is really the sweet spot. This is where something where the Xbox Series X could actually hit games, or the PS5 could actually hit games at that 1440p and possibly get up to 120 Hertz. So if you guys are looking for a really great monitor for those consoles, this definitely would work for that. Now the next Pro is it actually has crosshairs that you can put into it. That's pretty basic. A lot of people have that. So if the game that you are playing doesn't have crosshairs in there, you can like have a little red dot or a little X. And this is actually quite good in something like Kingdom Come Deliverance when you're trying to learn how to shoot a bow, because the crosshair, like the invisible crosshair, is always in the center. And when I played it not on this monitor, I would literally take a little piece of like sticky tape and literally put it in the middle of my screen. So it's kind of funny, but it's nice that it includes it. As well, you have the shadow boost, so to bring shadows up in certain games to, like, you know, find enemies hiding in a corner. It's kind of nice. Now that's gonna lead me into the menu. It's kind of weird, but it works very well. There's like 4 buttons, and then there's a like nipple control, and it's just weird because like the power button is completely unmarked. And I mean, once you learn it, it works well. It probably takes you like 10 minutes probably to get used to it. So once you know it, it's perfect, no problems at all. But it's just really weird, and it's like, why did you do that? It's definitely not slow. I've used monitors where it's like very slow and you have to go all through it. Once you learn it, it's very quick. You just use the little knob to go through pretty much everything, but it's just weird to get used to it. Now, if you're checking out this gaming monitor, a very similar gaming monitor would be the LG Ultra Gear. However, there's some big differences between these two monitors that I just wanted to go over. For the same price, about the same price, a little bit less than $400, for the Ultra Gear, you're gonna get an IPS screen, which is nicer than the VA panel. However, it's only a 27-inch screen versus this 32-inch screen. As well as that, you're only gonna get 144 Hertz on the LG Ultra Gear versus 165 on this one. And the Ultra Gear is not curved, whereas this one is curved. So you're getting a lot of pros in this thing for a very small amount of money, a crazy, crazy awesome panel, a huge panel also. Now that's not to say that you should just never buy the Ultra Gear and just buy this. It's depending on what you guys want, what you prioritize. But if you want a huge panel for really not that much money that is fantastic for gaming, this is definitely a fantastic option. There is Amazon links below for the US and Canada. But right now we're gonna jump into the cons. Now there's just 2 cons. At this price point, it's really giving you everything it said it was gonna give you, and overall it's a great panel. But the first con is actually a legitimate con that won't sound like a con to you, it'll sound nitpicky, but it's legitimate to me. This monitor takes a very long time to actually turn on after it's gone to sleep. After the display has gone to sleep, you know, you leave your PC for 5 minutes, it takes like 8 to 10 seconds sometimes to literally wake back up. And I have my sleep setting on like 5 minutes, so it's very annoying for that to happen so much of the time. And sometimes it just takes longer than that. So, I mean, sometimes it'll only take 3 seconds, sometimes it'll take 15. I don't understand why. It might be because of the VA panel, I don't know, but it does take a while and it's kind of iffy, and yeah, that's definitely a con. But the other one is the extreme low motion blur. It just completely cuts the brightness in half and it's not really that good. However, overall, you're still getting a really fantastic monitor for the price. Again, if you're looking for like an IPS panel, definitely go towards the Ultra Gear. That's a fantastic monitor. But if you're looking for a huge screen size, 165 hertz, curved, this is the way to go. This is one of the best gaming monitors I have used, especially for the price. They obviously get better, but for the price, this thing is unfreaking beatable. If you guys do want to go check it out, Amazon links below for the US, UK, and Canada. If you enjoy this video and it helped you out, help me out and throw a like below. And if you want to check out some of my other videos, I do a bunch of gaming tech reviews and tech reviews in general. So definitely please consider subscribing. But this was Consumer Tech Review, and I'll see you guys later.